Good afternoon, YouTubers. We actually got some snow last night. We got about 2 inches. It's melting off real quickly. Just enough to muddy it up. And if you can see those mountains in the far distance, the white caps on them, these are the mountains we ride on. They're starting to get some snow. It's a great thing. I'm working on this 1997 Indy 700 RMK. I just did a little pre-season tune-up on it for a new customer. And it fired up surprisingly well, although I did find many issues on it. Basically, I found that all the rubber mounts that hold the airbox on were missing and or not connected. The bolts that hold these two jugs on were both missing. The jugs were flopping around. And this machine had just been worked on, which tells me that Mr. Dana brought it to the wrong mechanic. I've went through the carbs. I found some really odd issues with them. Basically, the floats were not factory. They were not set right. And I actually had a set of these carburetors off of an older Indy 700 that were they're dirty, but in very good shape. And I robbed parts off of them. I actually left these carbs open on the bench so I can show y'all what I'm talking about. Let's go in the warm shop. It's 24 degrees out here. It is 70 degrees in here, thanks to my Mr. Heater. This was my part set of carburetors. I basically took the floats out of those carburetors, put them in these, because I took these factory floats off of these that were in very good shape and put them on those. As you can see, the difference between float height is dramatic here. Basically, this one was adjusted so incorrectly. Basically, that's where your float hit. That means that this carburetor was getting no fuel. So basically, he was having a very hard time starting the machine because he was starting it with one carburetor. Secondly, another thing I noticed is all the float bowl screws were brutally stripped out, really over-tightened. And these float bowls have an O-ring gasket on it. There's absolutely no reason to tighten those that much. This tells me another thing, that he had the wrong mechanic working on it. Back out to the cold shop. I also, while I had this machine apart, I put a brand new fuel filter on it. And whenever I work on these older machines and I know they haven't been touched in years, I replace the fuel pickup tube that's inside the tank. Basically, it hangs about right like that, and it has a weighted brass screened end that basically weights down that end of the tube, keeping it at the bottom of the tank where it can pick up fuel at all times. What happens is this tube is soaking in gas its entire life, and now that we have ethanol in our fuels, it's basically eating this tube off to where this tube will drop off. So basically the machine will run at a full tank until it goes down to a half a tank or below the pickup level, and then it runs out of gas. And I've had so many people come in and say, my machine runs great till I get to about half tank and then it quits. And after doing this for so many years, I know exactly what the issue is. Otherwise, I really think this sled's going to work out well for Mr. Dana. He brought it in, said, it has never started well. He was very unhappy with it and ready to get rid of this machine. And I told him, I says, don't do that until you give me a crack at it. We're going to try a cold start here. It is 24 degrees in this shop. I have not run this machine all day, although I had it running yesterday evening. So this is an honest cold start. Let's see what she does. I think Mr. Dana's going to be happy with that. A little smoky, but that's 2 strokes. Next step is I got to finish greasing the chassis on this sled and a few more button-up things. I'm going to load it back on the trailer and the blue 600 will come off and we'll start the whole process over again. I thank you for watching.